So hello everyone, this is Ashutosh Raut and this is our second video of the series on DP900 exam summary. In this video we'll be covering the second module. So let me start with the second module. So second module is relational data in Azure. So we have already seen what is relational data. Relational data is nothing but we store data in the form of rows and columns. The next is normalization. Normalization is the process that minimizes data duplication and enforces data integrity. We use normalization to convert a denormalized data into normalized data, and then we store this normalized data in the form of rows and columns. So there are certain rules that we follow to convert denormalized data into normalized data. You can pause and read the rules. The next is the SQL. SQL is also very important from exam perspective. So basic SQL questions will be there, like the insert, alter, update, whatever. These are the data definition commands. So they will ask like, uh, which is this command, insert command. So there will be options like data definition, data manipulation, something like that. So having basic knowledge of SQL will be beneficial before going to the exam. The next is database objects. So few of the database objects are views, stored procedures, indexes, and clustered index. And I have observed few questions on the database objects, and that's why I have included this in the PPT. So it is better to have understanding of these objects before going to the exam. So I have just given one liner definition of all these objects. You can pause and read. The next is the Azure Relational Database Services offered by Azure. So most important service or SQL database is Azure SQL Database, which is the platform as a service offering by Azure. We can either choose a single database or elastic pool of databases. An elastic pool has shared performance of a pool of resources. We can move databases in and out of the elastic pool as per our requirement. That means we can quickly rescale our elastic pool without restarting the databases. So there are three service tiers. The first one is general purpose or standard service tier. Next one is the business critical or premium service tier. And the third one is the hyperscale, having up to 100 TB of the storage capacity. So a billing cost will increase as per the service tier and mostly compatible with on-premises version of SQL Server. Means this database, Azure SQL database, is mostly compatible with the on-premises version of the SQL Server. Now the next that we have, uh, okay, a lot of theory for Azure SQL database, but this is very important from exam perspective. So what Azure SQL database provides as a platform as a service offering is automatic patching, backups and restore, then active geo replications. So four readable secondary databases will be there, and auto failover groups and advanced threat protection. So this is what we get as a part of Azure SQL database. The next is encryption, which is important from security point of view. So from security point of view, Azure SQL database provides transport layer security and transparent data encryption. And the next is how to access Azure SQL database. So there are three ways with the help of which we can access this database. So first is SQL Server Management Studio, Azure Data Studio, and Visual Studio. So these are the ways using which we can access the database. Now the important part is what are the things that this database does not support. So this database does not support a database mail, link servers, and service broker. So but Azure SQL Managed Instance supports database mail and link servers. So uh, this is the second database, Azure SQL Managed Instance. So Azure SQL Managed Instance is also a platform as a service offering, and it is SQL server in the cloud and just not a database. So it is 100% compatible with on-premises version of SQL server, and it does support database mail and link servers as we have seen. Okay, it supports the database mail and link servers. Now it also supports lift and shift requirements. That is, if you want to shift your on-premises SQL server, then you can use this service. And what it provides is operating system, database installation and patching, dynamic resizing and data replication. Now we can access this database using SQL Server Management Studio or Azure Data Studio. Now moving to the next database, what we have is the third one, Azure Services for Open Source Databases. So you must be aware that there are open source database services like MySQL, Oracle, and for these services, Azure provides support. So we can migrate our on-premises data using Azure Database Migration Service. So we have Azure Database for MySQL, MariaDB, PostgreSQL, and all these are platform as a service offerings provided by Azure. So I have highlighted the important points. You can pause and read. Now next that we have is SQL Server on virtual machine. So we will use a virtual machine and install SQL Server on it. You can also find a virtual machine having SQL Server pre-installed while creating a virtual machine. So you can choose that option while creating itself. And again, you can read few of the important points about SQL Server on a virtual machine, and you can have this as a platform as a sorry infrastructure as a service option. Now next is the Azure SQL Edge. So this is specifically optimized for IoT scenarios and to work with streaming time series of the data. And the last one is the roles and responsibilities. This is not that much important from exam perspective, but it's better to have understanding about the roles and responsibilities of DBAs, data engineers, and data analyst roles. So you can again pause and read. The roles it is quite easy and self-explanatory, and that's all from my end. Thank you. So our next video will be on module 3, which is going to be on non-relational data on Azure, and I would like to request you to please support this channel. Please like, share and subscribe, and thank you very much.